Hello and welcome to my first deck tech. Today we're going to be deck teching an Azorius deck, which coincides with the new Return to Ravnica, which I think is very interesting. So first of all, we've got the four M13 dual lands, the Glacial Fortresses. Here we are. So I'm sure everyone knows what they are. If you don't, they tap for blue or white mana source, which is of course the mainstay of an Azorius deck. And then we've got the Guildgate, which does very much the same, but always comes in tap. Sometimes the Glacial Fortresses don't, but they're still a pretty solid card for the deck. Then we've got your good old Moorland Haunts, which will help us get, those dead creatures that get murdered by the horrible Rakdos and Golgari into little spirits so they can help you again. And then we've got the basic land, so 6 islands and 7 plains, one of them a full art Zendikar, which is the block which I started in. So I'm not too much of a veteran yet. I'd love to hear from the veterans what you think of this video. So overall we got the 24 land, which is generally considered the maximum, the prescribed maximum. And then we move on to the creatures. So with the deck, the Planeswalker control, it needs those little creatures that can defend the Planeswalkers while they do their thing. So we've got a couple of War Falcons, and since I'm running quite a few soldiers, they'll be very helpful for like the turn 2. So you're going to be hitting your opponent for 2, and hopefully they won't be able to respond to that. But I'm sure if they get their own quick creatures out, you need something else to come back to that. So that's why we have the Doom Travellers. This one you can see here is a foil Doom Traveller. Lovely little creature, and if you're running the Moorland Haunt, which I am, you can make another spirit out of them, which is their original ability. Next card, the last 1 mana I'm running, is a Judge's Familiar, and that's the new Return to Ravnica split land card. I'm not sure of the technical term for that, but they're very helpful. As you can see, they are sack, and you get to counter target instant or sorcery spell. This is controller pays 1. And it's a 1/1 flying, so it's a pretty good card, whether you're going to be using it in control or even in a bit of aggro. Then next we've got my personal favourite card, Mr. Couples, Fogbank. So it's one of the best cards from M13. I'm sure everyone loves it, unless you're a super aggressive player who loves to hit people in the face a lot. Theoretically, not usually. Don't do that. You won't like it, FNM. Next, we've got our Attended Knights. So they're they bring out the extra token, and of course they've got the first strikes. That's helpful, and they have quite a nice bit of synergy for the next guys, the Crusaders of Odric. So they can get pretty huge, and couple them with the next lad, the Silverblade Paladin, and it could be game. There, and that's a foil Silverblade Paladin there. Very nice. And then we've got next guy who's one of the favourites, not the favourite, but he's a very good card. It's the Intrepid Hero. So he's just to deal with the big trampler threats that green will throw out at you, try and kill your planeswalkers. So he's very helpful in planeswalker control. I'd advise using him. Then we've got the Angel of Jubilation, which is kind of a replacement for Honor of the Pure. Not a very good one, but Honor of the Pure had to rotate sometime. That was my old deck. Came 3rd at FNM with it, so still a long way to go off. Then we've got Odric, who is rather helpful in the decks, because then you couple them with the Crusader, the Silverblade, and any of the other creatures, and then suddenly you're going to hit your opponent for lethal rather quickly. But how do you get those creatures so quickly? You do it with the Captain of the Watch. So suddenly, all your soldiers, you get 3 soldiers, they've all got vigilance, and they all get +1/+1. Odric gets +1/+1. The Doom Travellers get pumped, so do the Crusaders, and it's generally just a free-for-all fun. But we got to have in mind, what if your opponent drops a horrible thing which will stop you working? That's where these bad guys come in. Oblivion Ring. One of the most loved and hated cards ever, I think. So you can stop pretty much anything with them unless a certain counter comes in. So my favourite counter is Dissipate, because one of my friends, Rocco, he plays a very good Reanimator deck, and so the Dissipate helps quite a lot against that. I'm thinking about putting another couple in sideboard. Leave comments below to see what you think, because I don't have a sideboard yet, which probably isn't very good, but you know, you do what you can. Next card is Increasing Devotion. That's just drop guys on the field and smack your opponent, which kind of goes with the Honor of the Pure deck, you know, old habits die hard and all that. Then for the artifacts, it's quite cheap, supportive artifacts. So the first one is an Elixir of Immortality, you know, so get a Planeswalker back, get all your stuff back in Game 5 life, can keep you alive. Happened to me a couple of times at FNM. The Ring of Thune pumps your stuff, gives it vigilance. No, it's a win-win situation. And then the last one, Key Rune. So it can be a blocker if you've got the mana open. That's a last resort. I mainly run it for the mana. And then we come to the mainstay of the deck. First one, Ajani, Caller of the Pride. I got him at an FNM. I bought 3 packs, decided open one, give one to my friend to open, give one to a guy to open. I opened this, they opened really shit cards. So there's Mr. Ajani. Then the next two Tamiyus. I'm in love with this Planeswalker. She's such a good card. I mean, the +1 ability is just lovely, and the -8, you can keep on just hurting your opponent constantly. And finally, the most hated Planeswalker and probably card of this deck, Jace. I always just use his 0, you know, there's no use doing anything else. You're just aiming to mill your opponent as quickly as possible. So, I'd love to hear what you think of my first video, what you think of how I'll do at FNM. I'll give you an update probably tomorrow. I will have a practice game later, so just leave a comment below. If you've got any other ideas, maybe have another deck tech to make it better. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy my videos.